Arthur Lee Smith is back with a brand new book, The Permanent Coup, which details the targeting of President Trump, both by foreign and domestic enemies. One America's Jack Posobiec sits down with the author.
We are very excited to welcome back to One America News. It's Lee Smith, the author of a fantastic new book. And we had you on for your last book. The new one, it's called The Permanent Coup. And I think this one's even better because, as we were just saying, you can almost apply this to everything that's going on, not just over the past 18 months, but that's going on right now today.
Right. Yeah. What's good for the book titled The Permanent Coup, How Enemies, Foreign and Domestic, Targeted the American President. So what's good for the book is not great for the country, right? Because this is it's been going on for 4 years. It started with the collusion conspiracy theory. But right now we see this happening with people razing and looting American cities. Even more significantly, now we see coming out of basically DNC messaging operations, they are warning right now that we are actually in the middle of a coup. Right? They said they will not accept election results. They are threatening to go to the streets if the election doesn't come out the way that they like it. And certainly over the last several months, we've seen evidence that they will absolutely make good on their threat. So it's an enormous concern. Again,
and this, by the way, it's not even just from sort of, social media followers or anything, or, sort of chat rooms and comment boards. Yeah. We're talking about The Atlantic, The Washington Post saying things like, if Joe Biden doesn't win, there will be civil unrest.
Right.
Why are they saying these things?
Well, I mean, I think there are a number of different audiences for this. I think one of it is an internal audience. They're alerting their people to what the play is. But also, the recent article you're referring to in The Atlantic, it's also intended to warn Republican voters, Trump supporters, that if Joe Biden is not elected, there will be violence on the street. And if you want to keep law and order, you should really elect Joe Biden. I mean, it's astonishing. Again, it's a messaging operation. It's a messaging operation warning of violence on the streets and that Democratic voters will not accept democracy anymore if this election doesn't come out the way that they like. It's absolutely nuts, and it shows that we're moving into even more dangerous territory as we approach the election and after.
Now, something you mentioned, there's a whole chapter in your book about the Ukraine model. Right. And there's a phrase that we've seen a lot lately called a color revolution. Right. Tell me about that chapter and what is a color revolution?
Right. Well, I think if you look, the reason I call that chapter Ukraine the model, because I think if you look at what's happening now in our own streets, right, what the press is calling peaceful protest, obscuring the fact that these are hugely violent eruptions across American cities that are clearly coordinated, where people are setting out pallets of bricks, where you have frontline militias between BLM and Antifa, which you've been covering. Which you've been covering excellently. So you have these different people out there, and this is what looks like these different color revolutions.
Is there a possibility that we could see something like this go on following November 3rd, Election Day this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty inevitable. It's about two different ideas about America. There's the traditional idea of America, the America that protects and promotes the idea of individual liberty, nurtures the idea of family and community, respects and admires our symbols, our historical monuments, our actual history, instead of trying to destroy it. But the fight going out on the streets now of American cities is people trying to sabotage that, undermine that. So I think that this particular struggle will go long past November.
Incredible. Lee Smith, the book is The Permanent Coup. I recommend everyone should read it.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Thanks very much for joining us, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.